That is shocking. You never see that call at this point in the game. Wow. I mean, never.
DiVincenzo hit the deck, sold it.
At this point, I'm not sure the Knicks can play a boring playoff game. All 7 of their postseason games this year have been pretty exciting in some way or other. I started off this video with that controversial moving screen call on Miles Turner. So Indiana ended up challenging it, and they ended up saying that it was an illegal screen, probably by the letter of the law, but still, I don't think you can make that call in that situation. But worse than that is probably the call they called on Aaron Nesmith for a kickball violation when it clearly went off of his hands, and it wasn't something they were able to review at that point. The refs are never going to be perfect, and I understand that, but it's gotta suck to be a Pacers fan and have the game end the way that it did. I liked what Rick Carlisle said after a game, and basically you just gotta move forward and go on to the next game. You gotta think that you're not gonna get any calls there at MSG, and gotta play like you're the team that no one wants to win. That being said, I think the Pacers actually have a decent chance to win this series. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, they're plus 310 to win the series. I know the Knicks took game 1, they're the team everyone expected to win coming into this, but one of the big factors that I thought would play on this series is what kind of pace would they play at. During the regular season, the Pacers played the second fastest pace in the NBA, while the Knicks were the slowest in the entire league. In game 1, it seemed like the Pacers were able to control the pace. They kept getting out in the fast break and moving the ball up and down like they wanted to. A big factor in this is how much the Knicks play their players. So if you see those top guys, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, they're all playing huge minutes. They're all in the top 5 for most minutes played this postseason so far. Everyone knows that Tibbs plays his main guys, and to be honest, he doesn't have a whole lot of options at this point with the injuries the Knicks have had. Bogdanovich is out for the playoffs. Now it looks like Mitchell Robinson's out for the playoffs, and of course Julius Randle went out earlier in the year, so they're without 3 of their top 10 guys. So I feel for them in that regard. But having these 5, 6, 7 guys that they're down to left playing these huge minutes, you wonder if Indiana can keep the pace as fast as they are right now, if they can gas out the Knicks and potentially wear down some of their top guys. But the big question is Indiana good enough? Because tired or not, those Knicks players are really good. Josh Hart has been absolutely amazing this postseason. I say this as a Sixers fan who was screaming at his TV that entire series, but seeing a 6'4" Josh Hart get this many rebounds is crazy. Plus he's been hitting threes and he always seems to be at the right place at the right time. Jalen Brunson, after those first couple games of the Sixers series, has been on a heater ever since. I think he scored like 40 plus in 4 straight games. So between those 2 guys, the Knicks have a lot of talent, and then if you look at guys like Anunoby and DiVincenzo who have been getting going in the last few games, they definitely have, I think, more talent in their top 5 starting lineup. Tyrese Halliburton is supposed to be the star of this team, but he's really struggled in the second half of the season, and that's continuing into the playoffs here. He's only scored over 20 points once in the first 7 games so far, and for a guy that averaged 11 assists during the regular season, he's had 4 games where he's been under 10 assists so far this postseason. Luckily for the Pacers, Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner have been pretty good so far. I'm really happy for Miles Turner in that he's finally getting some shine this postseason. I hear a lot of fans talk about underrated, overrated players, and it's hard to tell who that is nowadays because there's so much different sports takes out there. You'll have 10 different takes on the same player, but I've always thought Miles Turner is someone that's underrated. It's crazy to think that he's been with Indiana for 9 years now, but Turner can shoot the ball, he can protect the rim, he's a good shot blocker, and he moves his feet pretty good for a big man, so he's been a good asset for them this season. Pascal Siakam's a guy that's obviously won a championship before, so he has that pedigree, but he's also been a number 1 option on teams the last few years in Toronto. So it's shown at times in that Milwaukee series and in game 1 that they need a bucket, they're going to Pascal Siakam, and they definitely need that right now with Tyrese Halliburton struggling to score. So we already talked a little bit about the Knicks' 3 best guys, Brunson, Hart, and Anunoby. I think you can count on what they've been giving you. When you look at the rest of the guys, DiVincenzo had an awesome game 1 when he kind of struggled in that first series against Philadelphia. Honestly, I feel worse about that for the Knicks, that you got a good game from basically your 4 best players and it still was that close. Hardenstein has actually been pretty good. That little floater shot he has is like automatic. I swear he hasn't missed one all playoffs. The reason I don't feel that great about the Knicks is their bench. We already talked about the injuries they had to Bogdanovich, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle. So you look at what's left on the bench and you basically just have McBride. And I like McBride, he's a good player, but he can't be your only bench player that's providing you something. They're going to have to play Precious Achiuwa some minutes, and we'll see what he can do in the series. It's going to have to be one of those guys stepping up, or someone that hasn't played in the series giving them some productive minutes. Because just with 6 guys, I don't think you can win a series, much less a series that's going to be this fast-paced like the Pacers want to play. One of the reasons the Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the Nuggets right now is that they have the better bench. Denver doesn't really have anyone that they can trust and come in and make an impact outside of their starting 5, while Minnesota has guys like Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker who are coming in and making a huge impact. Let me know what you guys think. Am I making too big a deal out of this? Can the Knicks win this series with just their starting 5? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys next time.